Lads, obviously you were disappointed following the game on the weekend, but how proud were you of the effort of the lads?
Yeah, it was massive. As we said, we were hugely disappointed with ourselves in that second half against Bath. We felt like we let a lot of people down with the fundamentals of what we as a team and Gloucester Rugby as a club are about, and we definitely didn't do that on Sunday. There was a lot of hard work, effort, physicality put into that game, and rugby's fine margins. There was still in our control to win the game, and that's what we have to learn from. And hopefully we take that forward into this weekend, bring the same attitude mentally, physically, and then get the fine little bits right as well, and that puts us in good stead.
Yeah, as you mentioned, plenty to work on, but plenty of positives as
Yeah,
well, and that's great to take forward now into Slater Cup week.
yeah, huge, and what a great week to do it on, and another game where you're going to be tested massively by what is a Leicester side hitting good form again. It's one of those things that it's a hugely emotional week for a lot of us. It's one of those things. It's a balancing act of trying to get those emotions right, and I'll be honest with I probably got them wrong the last time we had the Slater Cup here. Probably got too emotionally involved in it, and it's something that rugby's always an emotional game, but when it's your good mate, you think about all those sort of things in his family. This week it's tough, but Fraser made a brilliant point this morning around it's not about who cares the most, Fred. It's about how well you represent him, and that brings the level down nicely on the emotion side of it, because you know that if you're too emotionally involved, then you're not going to represent him in the right way, and that's where we want to get. We want to get to that perfect level of representing Ed for what he's about as a player and a bloke on the pitch on Saturday.
Yeah, and in terms of the game itself, obviously Leicester, really good side, and like Gloucester as well, a really historic club. So it's always a big one when the two clubs meet, isn't it?
It's huge, and it's nice to see that, and I've said it before, that two clubs put the huge fan bases, huge, proper rugby clubs. That Ed obviously was a huge part of both teams, and the fact that the clubs can go to such a big effort, make the cup and stuff about him and his family, and do what we can to support him. Him, his wife, and the three kids. It's huge just to be able to do it, and you see it. It's a different atmosphere now. Leicester Gloucester was always a huge game anyway. The historic provenance behind it, but now there's just that little bit extra. There's always going to be a little bit extra with a cup on it, but it's a cup that a lot of people at the club care about a lot, because it's so new as well, and the fact that it will go on for forever now, and the best thing now is that we've been the double header with the women. They've got their own Slater Cup as well, so that'll forever be contested as the Women's Slater Cup as well, which is huge, and hopefully we get our win on Saturday, and then all the boys are going to stick around and watch the girls get their win as well.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, like what it means to you and the team as well. But ultimately, as well, it's really good to be raising awareness for both Ed and the MND community in general, isn't it?
I think that's the biggest thing is, and where Ed wants his voice to sort of go with MND at the moment is making sure the whole community gets awareness, and we know as people that have got more involved in it, since Ed's diagnosis, it's criminally underfunded. Like it's wrong that it's not had more funding, and what Kevin Sinfield does is massive in terms of getting it in the news, and the money he raises is just amazing. And if we can be a little part of that, or a little part towards it, and the fact that we can put Ed's name to it as well, is something that I think everyone can get behind, whether you're a Gloucester supporter, a Leicester supporter, or anyone this weekend. I know a lot of neutrals enjoy it, watching the games of rugby themselves as well, and I'm sure they can all get behind a game that's just trying to raise awareness for that.
Yeah, and you did touch on as well the double header. Obviously, last time they were here at Kingsholm to win their league title was a
Yeah,
brilliant occasion. I guess both teams can take plenty of inspiration from that.
yeah, it's huge. Like I was speaking to Mo yesterday, like they've done everything we want to do. They had a home semi, they got a home final, they won it. They get to come back and start their campaign back on the pitch where they won the Premiership. It must be an amazing feeling for those guys, and we wish them all the best on Saturday. I've no doubt they'll come out firing. Everyone says it's harder to win too, so everyone's going to want to beat them this year, and I think they kind of wanted to beat them last year because of the way they went about their business. So it was great to see, and I've no doubt they'll rip into it Saturday. And like I say, me and the boys are going to stick around, and hopefully the fans will stick around and make a great atmosphere for that game as well.
Yeah, and we mentioned the whole like one club mentality here as well. Obviously, they donated their match fees to Ed last year, and
Yeah.
they'll be in that for Ed shirt this season as well. So it's brilliant that they're supporting and getting behind Ed as well.
It is massive, yeah. And like we spoke about it as players when that happened. It's, you know, some of those girls didn't get many match fees. It was a different sort of match fee for that final, and I think that's probably not been spoken about enough. The sacrifice a lot of those girls give to be able to play rugby, like, still, it's not quite there in terms of the professionalism that they deserve. And for those to do that, it was hugely. I wanted to give the shirts out, and I know you see, I ended up, you end up crying at the end of it because of that sort of thing, and that sums up the spirit of that team, that they're willing to do that, and even better that they won it and was able to do it. That's amazing for them.
So 2 competitive games, trophies on the line, all to support a legend of the club. It's not one to be missed, is it?
No, definitely not. If you haven't got a ticket, there's something wrong when you get down here and get a ticket.
Cheers, lads.
Nice one.